Bonta Hill Joe Shasky, the butcher. We had our producer, Evan Giddings, just taking shots at the San Francisco Giants right before we tipped this thing off, and I forgot he was a Charger fan. So it's a little weird. It's a little weird start to this one, but hey, look, it's a Friday. It's high noon. We're exhausted. We had a hell of a morning roast today. Ric Flair, Eric Bischoff, Dallas Brayton, Bit Roberts, Jason Aponte, Dave Douglas. I mean, it was a jam-packed show. So how do we muster up the energy to get through this training camp live? Brought to you by Odyssey, exclusively on the Odyssey app. Well, I guess we start by talking to quarterbacks because that gets us charged up. No pun intended. Trey Lance. Take two this Sunday with Trey Lance against the Chargers down in L.A. at SoFi Stadium. And looks like he got some reps with the ones, ran a couple running plays. Also just saw a video where Jimmy Garoppolo threw a pick six to Derwin James. And he's been throwing picks left and right. But, Shasky, I don't subscribe to the, hey, it's practice. Better to get the mistakes out now. You think Shanahan enjoys watching people practice throwing interceptions or practice fumbling? No. Clean it up. And Jimmy needs to clean it up, even though it looks like he's the leader to start week 1 against the Lions.
Yeah, he's going to obviously have to clean things up. There's no doubt about that, B. I don't know anymore. You talk to 5 beat writers, and they say, he's experimenting. He's got to try things. This is what practice is for. You talk to another 5 beat writers, and they're like, no. You got to make decisions. These are the same horrible decisions that he's making during the game. I don't know what to make of it, but I'll tell you this. I am here for all of it because I am so ready for the real season to actually start. We're only one preseason game in, B. One preseason game in. We've seen one drive from Jimmy Garoppolo. I need to see something this Sunday against the Chargers.
I need to see something. And look, who is Jimmy Garoppolo at this point of his 49ers tenure, of his 49ers career? Who the hell is he to go out there and experiment? Like, you got a dude who's the number 3 overall pick on your ass trying to get the starting job. People want to make excuses for Jimmy Garoppolo, so be it. You're losing credibility by the hour if you keep caping for people who are quote-unquote experimenting. The only guys who get to experiment on this football team, George Kittle, Nick Bosa,
yes,
Trent Williams, and Fred Warner. That's it. That is it. Everybody else, you're fighting for your starting gigs, dude. I don't care. Oh, Alex Mack. Let me throw Alex Mack in there as well. He can experiment as well as a long-time center in the league. But Jimmy Garoppolo experimenting? I mean, come on, man. Let's go. Clean this baby up and let's go.
There's no doubt about it. And look, I mean, I think we all want the same thing here, right, B? We want the 49ers to win. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Like, we can go back 15, 20 years ago. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. I want the team to win and be successful. And if the quarterback is having a great year, well, probably his offensive line's having a great year. Probably the defense is playing complimentary football. And probably those weapons on the outside of that offensive line are having good years as well. So I'm with you. And more than anything, Jimmy needs the confidence to snowball for him because the way he finished last year, if we're being 100% here, was not satisfactory in my book.
No, not even close. Not even freaking close. Now, let me ask you this. You see the Chargers on Sunday. Should Trey Lance get more reps with the ones, or should Jimmy get most of the time with the ones? Because if I'm Jimmy, I'm saying I need all the reps. I'm not trying to let this dude take my job.
Yeah.
If I'm Jimmy, I'm saying I need the entire first half. How, do you think Shanahan will play it like that on Sunday? Or will he try to work this young man in, Trey Lance, and say, you know what? Here's your time to play behind the ones. Here, the starting offensive line, the entire starting skill set when it comes to George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel.
Look, man, in the Shasky household growing up, closed mouths don't get fed. You want a plate of food? Then get your hell up off the table and go get yourself a full plate of food and put as much food as you can on there because we know the weaklings don't eat. I mean, that's just what it is, whether it's Mother Nature or whether it's the 49er quarterback room. How dare he allow someone else to take first-team reps? I need this guy to have the confidence to be able to say, nah, Shanny, this is my job. This is my team. I want to throw to the first stringers with Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Steve Young, Joe Montana. Go back along the litany of quarterbacks around the league. Would they allow someone else to take their snaps and their reps?
Absolutely not.
Don't let the seat get cold, because if you do, the next thing you know, someone's going to hop in it and make it warm for their own cushion.
I'm totally with you there. Those quarterbacks ain't letting nobody get a rep. They're getting all the reps with everybody. So here's the deal. Here's the other deal. Jimmy Garoppolo this week, especially down in Costa Mesa, where they're having a joint practice with the Chargers, Jimmy's throwing the ball deeper. He's starting to stretch the field. We saw Trey Lance last Saturday do that on his second pass attempt.
Yeah.
I want to see Jimmy Garoppolo stretch the field. If that's what he's doing out in LA, you've got nothing to lose, right? You said it earlier, well, he's got a starting job to lose. However, Shanahan don't like you. He's flirted with everybody.
Yes.
This team is ready to move on to Trey Lance. We see how people respond to a Trey Lance spiral.
Yes.
If I'm Jimmy, I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to lose my job. Let me just let this thing go. Take some chances, gamble a little bit. That's what I want to see from Jimmy Garoppolo this Sunday. This is what I want to see from him the rest of the way while he's a 49ers quarterback. Let that thing fly. Let that baby fly. Stretch the field, throw intermediate routes, stop checking it down, especially in preseason games. It's the preseason. Let's go.
Well, I'm 100% with you, and obviously the team needs confidence to be able to rally around that guy. I think we undervalue the psychological advantage of, goodwill that someone like a Patrick Mahomes has before he even takes a snap in every game. When you walk onto the field with a Patrick Mahomes, Bonta, doesn't the rest of the team just feel elevated? Like, we got that dude over there, right? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Whether it's offense, defense, etc. Jimmy Garoppolo needs to have that kind of swagger. You've talked about it forever. 2017, he's sitting there at the line. Boom, boom, boom. You move over there. You move over there. There was a swagger that he had that C.J. Beathard just didn't have and obviously would never have as the 49er quarterback. And it's an infectious joy that I think the rest of the team can draw from and really inspire confidence with. So, yeah, I'm 100% with you. And let's make no mistake about it. These two teams aren't going to like each other after practicing against each other for 3-4 days leading up to the preseason game.
Yep.
This, to me, will be the dress rehearsal of the preseason. I know people keep saying it's going to be week 3 against the Raiders. No. It is the Charger game. I think for a variety of reasons, it's going to be the Charger game. I think as we get closer to that week 3 matchup, guys that haven't played, let's say, an Alex Mack or a Trent Williams in a game, why would you even risk it when you're so close to week 1 being right around the corner? To me, I feel like this is the biggest game of the preseason, and I think we'll have some conclusions. Not on everything, but I think we will see a lot of what we're going to get to see week 1 in Detroit after that Labor Day weekend in the first week of September.
Let me ask you this again. Would you rather play a veteran like Jimmy Garoppolo, who is continuously making these rookie mistakes in practice? Like, I don't care what anybody says. Oh, it's just practice, Bonta. It's just practice. Dude's throwing over like 11 picks in practice at training camp. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. I don't care who you are. You think Tom Brady wants to throw 11 interceptions in practice? Hell no.
No.
So would you rather play a veteran like Jimmy Garoppolo who, look, he has a ceiling. Or would you rather play the rookie who may make some mistakes, but you know damn well his upside is a lot higher than a veteran? Who would you rather play?
I think 5 years ago I would have said you play the veteran. But the body of work that I've seen from these young players and their ability to, take on the workload, for their ability to make the adjustment much more easier than it was years back, I'm rolling with the rookie. Like, let's get this thing going. Let's go. Let's start this developmental process, because if he's a rookie week 1, by week 16, week 17, Bonta, is he still a rookie?
No.
He's a seasoned young player in the game. He may not be veteran status. He may not be through multiple training camps and things like that, but I'm about starting the guy who gives you the most pop plays. Like, they're both going to make mistakes at this point. That's the difference. If it was Alex Smith, I think we keep lumping Alex Smith into Jimmy Garoppolo's camp. Alex did not throw picks. He was reluctant to throw downfield, but he didn't really turn the ball over the way Jimmy does. 54 turnovers in 30 games started. That's what Jimmy Garoppolo does. Turn is it over 1.6 to 1.8 times per game. That's not good from a starting quarterback. I expect better ball security from a veteran. So if you're going to be a guy who turns the ball over, give me the guy who gives me pop plays too.
You know what? early on, I was saying, you know what, you can't do this. You got to give Jimmy a chance with these starting receivers, with George Kittle healthy, with the starting offense. So you know what? The practice that we attended changed everything for me. It absolutely changed everything for me. Now, I could make the argument that, hey, Jimmy may give you a better chance right now to win a Super Bowl, but I don't doubt that Trey Lance can get this team to the playoffs. And once you get to the playoffs, even if you don't have home field advantage, you're playing in cold weather cities. Well, guess what? This guy played at North Dakota State, and I know they played in the Dome, but a lot of those playoff games outdoors. You think about the championship against James Madison in Frisco, Texas. It was cold as hell. And you know what? This guy can zip a ball through that cold weather. You think Kaepernick in Green Bay. Jimmy ain't zipping the ball in the cold weather. Think about the Baltimore game in the rain. We were scared to death of Jimmy throwing the football. Even the touchdown pass he threw to Deebo Samuel was like, hey, it's a jump ball. Somebody go get it. Trey Lance will fire that thing, and that velocity travels on the road, especially when you're running the football. You think about Shanahan, right? He drafts 2 running backs, Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon in the 3rd round. You got the 2 tight ends. You give Juszczyk a lot of money. You don't think they're going to be using Kyle Juszczyk this year as a lead blocker and a guy coming out of the backfield catching passes? They will do that. The Shanahan staple ain't about 4 wide receiver sets, Shasky. No. It ain't about throwing the ball 50 times. You know what it's about? Running that zone stretch play and running it down your damn throats. Running the football down your throat. And if you got a guy like Trey Lance who is going in there on that stretch play that he's used to running at North Dakota State, and he tucks it and play action, that is deadly. That he is more of a threat on the field than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's an athletic freak. Hell, he may be the most athletic guy on the football team.
Yeah, I think
I don't like, if I'm Shanahan and you all make a big deal about these rookie contracts and maximizing the quarterback on the rookie contract, then let's go. Start him in week 1 against Detroit and let's go. I can't have my starting quarterback throwing pick sixes every damn practice. That bothers me. People are going to yell, practice, practice, practice. No. You don't practice that stuff. You throw the ball away. If you see tight coverage over there, you go to your second read, you go to your third read, and you throw that thing away. Jimmy still does that for some reason. And the practice, I'm telling you, Shasky, when we're down there in Santa Clara, it changed everything for me.
Yeah, I've also think that we've underrated the schematic advantage that the young man can give you with the tuck and the pull when it comes to that zone read. I think that the kid has to play at some point, and I'm talking early on in the season. I think the leash on Jimmy is going to be very, very, very short, and I'm here for it, B. Like, I think we're all ready. It's just a matter of time. It's not when. It's not if, excuse me. It's a matter of when. I'm ready for it. And look, it's not like Trent Williams has a year to just burn and waste. If you're going to the kid at some point, let's just get this thing started. Get the ball rolling on this. But he's not the only one I'm concerned about. Quarterback is not the only position. I'm worried about offensive line. I'm worried about right guard. I'm worried about safety. And I'm worried about this defensive line.
Dude, I'm worried about wide receivers. All right? But look, it all starts up front. It all starts with the offensive line and the defensive line. Defensive line looks a lot more healthier. It seems like Bosa's getting closer and closer to participating in team drills. D Ford has been looking good from what everybody said. That there's been no mixed messages on the D Ford front. Everybody says 5'5" looks good. It's the offensive line for me too, because we see it in big games over and over and over again. You don't got some big hogs up there protecting the quarterback, your game plan's a wrap. You can't run anything. The boot, the stretch, the rollouts, the screen game. You can't run any of that stuff if you don't got no protection up front. So, Trent Williams being hurt and having his knee drained, I am concerned about that. I'm concerned about Alex Mack being a little bit older. I'm concerned about the right guard spot, and I'm damn sure concerned about Mike McGlinchey. I don't know how I should feel about this offensive line, but to me, that is the weakness of this football team. Even with Trent Williams playing left tackle, it's still the weakness of this team.
Yeah, I'm very concerned, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of concerned with some of the older players, quite frankly. I mean, Trent Williams hurting his knee is massive. That's a massive injury to monitor. This could derail the whole season. You paid this guy a boatload of money, and you need him to be healthy. Alex Mack, we haven't even seen him. I mean, I know he's played in practice, but I didn't see him in a game. I'm very, very, very concerned when it comes to just the offensive line in general, B. Like, there's no doubt about it. And if this team wants to get better, this is the reason they were derailed last year. We could talk about all the other injuries. Offensive line was not good enough last year.
No,
the injuries notwithstanding, like, they didn't help. The offensive line was ferocious.
And, the wide receiver room, I think I feel a little bit better because Jennings did flash to me. I think Sherfield is winning me over. And if Ayuk and Debo can stay healthy, you got something there. And don't forget, George Kittle in the pass game is an extra wide receiver who is dynamic. So I feel a little bit better about that group right there. But the offensive line is my big takeaway. Also, the secondary. What's the secondary going to look like? Are they really going to go with the rookie Hufanga out of USC at strong safety? Who's going to play opposite of Jason Verrett? How's Jimmy Ward going to look? The secondary to me is the second spot I look at where I'm saying, oh boy, you better pray, because this is another weakness on the football team.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I'm very interested to see the young man play. Hopefully he gets some chances, Hufanga that is, with the first-string defense on Sunday. I want to see him versus Herbert. I want to see him versus dynamic offense. I don't know how much the Chargers are going to play these skill position guys. This is an offense that's going to be explosive this year. I mean, I want to see what this kid can do against those guys because, look, the NFC West offenses, they're no joke. You got Tyler Lockett, you got DK, you got Robert Woods, you got Cooper Kupp, and we obviously know Arizona's dynamic with DeAndre Hopkins and A.J. Green and Andy Isabella. Like, there are weapons galore in this division. So if this kid can cover against these dynamic players and Keenan Allen, and some of the other weaponry that the Chargers have, that will be a good thing that this Niner team absolutely needs. I'm worried about the defensive backs in general, but to not have a strong safety healthy who's not a rookie, that's alarming. And then I'm hearing Dante Johnson is playing opposite Jason Verrett. Are you kidding me? This guy's been cut 8 billion times by the Niners. I don't want to see Dante Johnson, the human turnstile.
I can't believe he's still on this roster.
It's unreal.
It is unreal. And I'm not even going to go there because it is Friday. I don't even want to put my mind there looking at Dante Johnson. And people are like, oh, man, you know what? This guy's got length and he's making plays. Hey, it's Dante Johnson. All right? It's Dante. The same Dante Johnson who allowed that pump block in week number 1 last week against Arizona. That Dante Johnson that turned that entire football game. It is a big-time concern in the front. And that's where the defensive line's got to be healthy, man, and really get pressure on the quarterback and try to force some turnovers here. Let me ask you about Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan. Where's he at right now? How are you feeling about Shanahan going into his 5th year as the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers? Always highlight, hey, he's only been to the playoffs once. I do acknowledge it was an expansion team that first year with Shanahan. And you know what? They were an expansion team. They lost 5 straight games by a total of 15 points. I've been forgotten about that. They were very competitive in Shanahan's first year. But it feels like this year he's got to have some type of success. He's got to do something. He's got the big, fat, shiny contract extension. But how are you feeling about Shanahan going into year 5?
I don't believe a word he says at a podium, but I love Kyle Shanahan. You know that this is a very big year for him. Not so much about winning a Super Bowl, just make the playoffs. Make the playoffs. Your team is as good as it's ever been in terms of roster depth. Yeah, you got a lot of depth at the quarterback position. I'd like to see you develop one of these guys. And more than anything, I want to see you coach them up and get this team back into the playoffs. I'm not saying that you got to host every single game, but boy, wouldn't it be nice to put 12, 13 wins up on the board? After having the down year that you had last year, go out there in one of the best divisions in football and dictate your will. Show me why you got that contract extension last year. Stop pointing the finger at your quarterback. You got the guy that you want who's going to be developed. Figure it out. You got weaponry on the outside. You got your tight end locked in. You got 2 young wide receivers. You got a plethora of running backs. You've got the offensive line. I don't want to hear any excuses. I really don't. If this team does not win double-digit games, I even think 11 games is too low. You got to win 12 or more games this year for me, and that might be too high a bar, but that's where I'm at. That's how good I think of this roster and Kyle.
And Kyle's been hailed. I mean, we've given him the throne as the best play caller in all of football. We've dismissed Andy Reid, dismissed Sean McVay, dismissed all the great play. Brian Dable in Buffalo, who had a very good year with Josh Allen last year. This is a huge Huge year for Shanahan, and I think he's going to have to pick up the slack because there's no more Robert Saleh.
No.
You've got a rookie defensive coordinator in DeMeco Ryans. I got to put more pressure. It's kind of like the San Francisco Giants, right? They're leading on the offense, right? This deep lineup where LaGoria, Bryant, Flores, Buster, Crawford, Belt, Yaz, so on and so forth. The Niners with this offense, with this weaponry, and the way they could pound teams into the ground, I'm looking at this offense saying, 2 years ago, you averaged 30 points per game. And you had Emmanuel Sanders with the rib injury. You had Dante Pettis out there floating around. You had Kendrick Bourne, who was your third down specialist. And you had a rookie in Deebo Samuel. George Kittle had the pop capsule in his kneecap and a fractured ankle. Now you got some weapons. Now you got Deebo in his third year. You got Ayuk in his second year, who looks silky smooth. George Kittle now is a grown-ass man. Not that he wasn't a couple years ago, but now he is much more seasoned. I think he's a better route runner at this point of his career. There's no excuse on why this offense can't get you 30 points per game. I don't care who's playing quarterback.
No, and on the defensive side, look, as bad as that back end of the secondary looks on paper, there shouldn't be any excuses on defense either. When you pay Fred Warner, as one of the highest paid linebackers in the league, and you give Dee Ford and Nick Bosa the money and the draft allocation that you've given to them, and then Javon Kinlaw, I need to see some progress on that side of the ball too. Like, this team is not a one-sided team. I think this is a very balanced, deep team. And that's why I don't want to hear any excuses. And if Robert Saleh leaving was some mystery, people thought he was going to leave the year before. I hope DeMeco Ryans is ready for the job, because if he's not, that could set things back.
That could set things back in a major, major way. Look, you bring up Robert Saleh, you bring up DeMeco Ryans. One thing about this front seven is Javon Kinlaw. I think he's a key. Hasn't practiced much. He's been injured.
I'm worried.
He's injured a lot as a rookie. Look, when is it appropriate to be worried about Javon Kinlaw?
Well, right now. I think right now, the leap from year 1 to year 2, considering he had no training camp last year, it's massive. That's when players really showcase themselves. You gave up DeForest Buckner to pay Eric Armstead and then use the draft capital in the trade to go get Javon Kinlaw. Can the two of them, Armstead and Kinlaw, be better than what DeForest was last year? Because last year he was an all-pro. All right? Yep. That's what he was. And you got two guys making comparable money when you combine the figures. And to me, I'm throwing my hands up. I'm like, I don't want to hear about the labor. Show me the baby. Like, show me that you're a baller. Like, I need to see you play. And this, my neck, my back, everything's hurt. I don't care. Play. Both of you. Armstead and Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah, there's no excuses anymore. There's no excuses with these two. Armstead got the big fat contract that should have been Buckner's money. A lot of people haven't forgotten about that. They haven't forgotten about that. And when the Colts come to town, what is it, week 7, week 8, people really are going to bring it up saying, what are you doing so far, Eric Armstead? I see what number 99 in Indianapolis is doing. By the way, you stole his money. You need to step up. There's no doubt those two guys, I'm looking at them early, and I'm going to lay off them. I've laid off them in training camp so far. To me, for Kinlaw and Armstead, it's about week 1 in Detroit. Are you going to make your presence felt? Are you going to make your presence felt week 1 against Detroit? Another concern, since we're concerning on a Friday, I thought we were going to be jovial, but it's all about concern and mayday, mayday, mayday. What about the special teams? Like, nobody's talking about this at all. Robbie Gould and Mitch Wishnowsky.
Yeah.
Mitch Wishnowsky stunk last week when it came to punting the football. Did any kickoffs get into the end zone? I don't remember, but the kicking game for crying out loud. Matter of fact, Robbie Gould missed the extra point, and nobody gave a damn because Trey Lance, we're all buzzing about Trey Lance throwing an 80-yarder. Well, guess what? You missed an extra point this week. We're going to talk about you, buddy. You got a pass last week. That can't happen. You're missing extra points. You held out a couple years ago trying to get more money. You stuck the franchise up for some more money, threatening things like, I want to go back home to Chicago, yada, yada, yada. There's no excuses for Robbie Gould this year. I don't give a damn if he's joined our show. I don't give a damn if he wants to play golf with you. Make the damn extra point, for crying out loud.
I didn't know you were going to be so fired up. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's great.
It's football season, man. I mean, come on. Shasky, I look up at the score. I said 9-7. How's it? Niners have a safety last week? Oh, no. Robbie Gould missed the kick. Well, I wasn't paying attention because I kept rewinding Trey Lance on my computer and on the screen up top of the press box. Oh, Trey Lance has arrived. Well, Robbie Gould, I'm watching this week. I am watching. There is going to be no wow factor. Well, maybe there will be with Trey. He does something spectacular. But Robbie, I'm watching, and I'm charting the punts and kickoffs from Mitch Wisnowski. They spent the third-round pick on you. You got to be a boomer. I thought we was getting the next. I thought we were getting the Janikowski version of a punter, right? I thought we were getting the punter version of Janikowski. I ain't seen it yet, and that's problematic for me.
There's no doubt about it. And on that same token, when you don't have any healthy safeties, who the hell's going to be on this punt and kickoff return team in terms of coverage? I mean, Bonta, like that's a big problem for me. Are you going to throw Jalen Hurd out there on his one leg? You're going to have Richie James tackling people? I mean, I'm very worried about the special teams unit, to be quite frank. And it's not just the kicking game. It is the coverage unit as well. Raheem Mostert was one of their best gunners. He is now one of your top running backs. They have yet to fulfill that vacancy. Like, I'm 100% with you when it comes to the special teams unit. Mm-hmm. I don't know what we're going to get. And I'm worried that that's going to cost them a game or two.
Yeah, field position is huge. 2019 49ers dominated field position, whether it was the defense forcing turnovers, whether it was moving the ball and having great punts. I need great field position this year from Mitch Wisnowski. You need to pin some guys. Like that Chiefs punter Townsend was dynamic last week, and he pinned Trey Lance down to the 1 yard line. Of course, Trey Lance got out of it with the nice throw to Charlie Warner there at the goal line on a play action pass. Here we go. We got about 3 minutes left here on San Francisco Training Camp Live. Joe Shasky, the Butcher, Bonta Hill. Catch us on the morning road, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. What any predictions for Sunday? It's tough to predict a preseason game, but what do you see for Jimmy Garoppolo? Let's start with him. Does Jimmy G play 2 or more series on Sunday? Does he play over 2 series? Does he get to a third series against the Chargers on Sunday?
Man, that's a great question. I think he has to. I think he has to play at least 3 series for me. I'd like to see him play the entire first half or close to it. Like, if you're going to close the chapter on Jimmy before the season starts, let me see him. Like, that's where I'm at. Let me just see him. Do I think he deserves this? What? No. But I think if you're being fair, you got to allow the guy to have an opportunity on the field in actual quote-unquote game time. If you're going to say practice doesn't count and he's experimenting and this, all right, well, let's see it in a preseason game. Like that's kind of where I'm at. It has nothing to do with Trey. Before you move off of Trey, onto Trey, you got to move off of Jimmy. I think you need to allow him a little bit of leeway there. So I need to see at least 3 or 4 series from him, B.
Yeah, I do too. And you know the problem? We may not see it. I'm going to go over here. I do think Jimmy gets 3 series, but it wouldn't shock me if it went under because Jimmy's too much of a nice guy.
Yeah.
And it's burned him out here in San Francisco. He should have been a jerk towards Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
He should have been in Shanahan's face, yelling at the guy. Give me the damn playbook. Let me go. You've been too nice. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm doing what Shanahan wants to do. Oh, yeah, coach, we got a great relationship. Oh, yeah, Shanahan and Lynch, they were transparent with me when they were trying to find my replacement. And Kirk Cousins, Tom Brady, Matt Stafford, Deshaun Watson, Nick Mullen, C.J. Beathard, your Uncle Joe, everybody. Like, you're too nice, dude. Go out there and play 3-4 series. I'm serious. Go play 4 series, man.
I'm
unbelievable.
With you.
I'm so far. I'm so tired of the nice guy act. You go out there and throw a pick 6 today in practice. Oh, yeah, it's just practice. Guy Derwin James just made a good break, and yeah, he made a great play. Got to clean it up. No, dude, clean it up. I'm tired of hearing about it. All right, Trey Lance, under over 60% completion percentage for Trey Lance on Sunday.
Wow. I'm going to say over. I think they're going to show a little bit more. I think he's going to run a little bit more. I think he's going to use his legs a little bit more. I'm going to say over.
Over under 2 sacks allowed by the offensive line. I'm with you on the over, by the way.
I'm going to go over. There's no question in my mind that this offensive line scares me, and I'm very worried. I'm very worried about both quarterbacks and their ability to operate back there.
Wide receiver drop passes, over under. I'll set it at 2.5. I'll say over.
Yeah, hit that over, baby, all day. If Richie James out there, chalk up 2 for him. Chalk up 2 for him. Right out
automatically.
I mean, that guy.
Man. Richie James, dude, I'm saying, we just did this training camp live. I thought it was going to be all kumbaya, and we just destroyed this football team.
Now, you know what's funny is if I were to hand this bus pass right now to Richie James Jr. for his way out of town, he dropped that too.
Training Camp Live, San Francisco Training Camp Live. Joe Shasky, the Butcher. I promise you, hopefully we'll be in a better mood Monday at high noon. That's what happens. You got to talk about this damn football team throwing pick sixes all over the place down in Costa Mesa. I just talked to Ric Flair, Eric Bischoff. We had a hell of a show, and I got to watch Jimmy G throw a pick six in third with James. That ticked me off. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good stuff, Shasky. Evan Giddings, producer of the show. From Bonta Hill, Joe Shasky, the Butcher. That was San Francisco Training Camp Live. Find it on the Odyssey app. AUDACY. Odyssey. Exclusively on the Odyssey app.